don't force anything, then we win.
We need a very good coordination on the shield, okay?
Yeah.
Get deal with the
Nice.
I think in Overwatch, the communication is, I think it's number one thing.
팀 게임에서 의사소통은 항상 최고로 중요하죠.
Everyone is pretty much the best players in the world, so what sets you apart is teamwork.
I'm stuck. I need a res in here. I have fire. I'm trying.
Let's use the D-Brain and break their shield, okay? Ready? 3, 2, oh yeah, we're going. All right, good job.
Nice.
Good job. Hey, that's a good comeback, boys.
So since we have many people from different country, speak different languages, in game it's pretty hard.
Are they set up? Effective, they set up?
I'm ready.
Okay.
So when we're on stage, it's usually Taimu calling the shots.
Okay, they're gonna go in. Watch out.
Left.
We realized it wasn't that optimal to have a DPS player calling all the time. Lately, we've begun to get more into a free flow system.
All right, let's set up again. I have 75 cents outside
Heal.
We have to know what is the position of enemies and our position. So sometimes me and Efek have a tough time, you know.
의사소통이 문제가 있긴 해요. 그런데 저도 영어를 최대한 배우려고 노력을 하고 있고 솔직히 많이 답답한 것도 있는데
Please kill Coolman, please!
The Dallas Fuel lost too many players.
Our team is very passionate about the game. If someone starts to get a little frustrated, then Mickey will kind of just be Mickey, I guess.
Say so, and then we go together.
네.
And we die together. We are the team. Victory!
중간중간 사이에 뭐 긍정적인 말도 해주고 웃기기도 해주고 해서 긴장 같은 건 되게 많이 풀어주는 편이에요.
You know who's Carrie? Who's your daddy? Call me daddy!
We need to become more optimal, more efficient. So far, people might say that's not working, but it's really not taken full effect yet.
Slow down. Do you guys notice how better we played the second half of that map versus the first? Because we instantly started talking.
I talked to my team that, can you like make it simple and say it to me and Efek? So after that, I think it's getting better.
I think that was the first point we didn't get in overtime.
Yeah.
Good job.
We're learning them.
We're learning.
You hear the communication from the Dallas Fuel there, much cleaner than we've heard.
Got it. Mickey coming in for the kill. That was just really well done.
It's a huge kill that New York. Jonak finishes him off. Let's go, New York! Gets the kill onto Unko. Huge play from Meko.
Looks like Dallas may be able to take this map right here, right now. Oh, meanwhile, it was all part of the plan.
Good morning. The sold-out Blizzard Arena is starting to fill up. Make some noise in here, Los Angeles. It is time to get into our second match of the day. Welcome back. I'm Puckett. We got the full desk. We got Reinforced inside to our analyst, as well as our insider. Zoe is back. Zoe, what do you think about this big matchup?
Oh man, I'm so excited for this upcoming match. Dallas Fuel have still a lot to prove. They were considered one of the favorites going into this league, and then, you know, like they just couldn't quite perform on that stage. However, in week 3, we saw a lot of signs of life, so they're looking to bring it back again on the stage.
And we were backstage. Mickey was all smiles. I can't remember a time when he wasn't smiling, but this squad looking pretty confident coming into today, and they're going to need to be because they have some stiff competition. But it's time to get this match started. Are you guys ready? Make some noise for the Dallas Fuel. Fuel, one of my favorite lineups in Overwatch history. Taimu, Effect, star-studded DPS players, and then you got the tank line. Mickey, Coco, so consistent. Their supports, we've seen a number of swaps so far, and throughout the season, they seem to still be stumbling to find their footing. They're coming into this match at 1-6 and coming off a big 4 loss at the hands of Philly.
Yeah, and I mean, the question is always like, what mood are they in really against their game against the Fusion? They took to the stage all smiles and high spirits on Thursday, and they seemingly had fun. They played with each other, they played with the camera, and they had a good time on stage, and that kind of makes them perform better as well. And even though they lost, their star player, Taimu, took to Twitter and voiced how happy he actually is to see that progress the team is making, saying that he is excited to play on the stage again, as he's been feeling a little bit indifferent in the past, and he ended his tweet with a promise of a better performance in stage 2.
Yes, they did look a lot better versus Philadelphia.
Look at them, they're having fun.
They're very happy, of course. So yes, they did look a lot better. There was some magic there, and that's the important thing. Before, when they played the Orisa and Junkrat composition, they sort of faded away, but there was some magic versus the Philadelphia Fusion. So I'm looking for Taimu and Effect to pull out some sorcery in this matchup.
There was magic, but no wins. And today it's going to be tough because they've got to get them going up against the #1 seed. Give it up for the New York XL. This New York squad climbed to the top of the leaderboard last week. They impressed so far earlier this week as well. Johnny, how good is the NYXL?
They are so good. They're probably the best team in the league pocket by now, I have to say. There is so much individual skill on this lineup. You have Saibiolbi, you have Jonak on the Senyal in the back line, Libro, the jack of all trades, of course. He's a standout player of mine. He can flex to whatever he likes, and he's so good at all of them.
Yeah, and I really want to see what Libero has in store for us today. He's basically like some weird Santa Claus of Overwatch. You just don't know what he bestows upon his team and upon his enemies. His hero pool is incredible deep. He's very versatile and very consistent as well. In their match against Seoul, he played 8 different heroes.
Yeah.
8! Like, I can't even wrap my head around that.
Did he play Hanzo?
I didn't
Yes, he did. He actually played Rotok, Zarya, Junkrat, Genji, Tracer, Pharah, Soldier, and Hanzo, and I'm out of breath. How is that even possible?
I'm a Diva 1 trick. Go ahead, Sideshow.
I think this team is incredible, but they are a defensive team. They tend not to play as heavy dive as somebody like Spitfire or Soul. It's going to give Dallas a little bit more room, but their focus is on their tanks and their supports, along with Sabiobi, who plays kind of this incredible defensive tracer for the team, shutting down the opposing DPS. But the focus is on creating win conditions with their tanks and their supports, and then going and delivering on the key fights that they need to win. But that is going to give Dallas a bit more room to work with.
Well, I know a lot of people are going to be cheering on the Dallas Fuel today, and that's a lot of the squads that are behind New York in the rankings. Now, officially, I need to correct myself earlier. London is the first team to reach 7 match wins. They are the #1 seed. But if New York is able to win all 4 maps, they will reclaim their throne. Dallas trying to stop them short of doing that. And today I have to ask about the Dallas lineup here. So we see Taimu as that DPS player for map #1. I know we got a lot of Seagull fans out there in the audience. Do we expect to see the big bird on the Junkrat today?
It's a good question. I mean, with the Dallas Fuel, you never really know, right? They might pull him out. However, if you're looking at the map pool, it's not really a Junkrat favorite map pool. We might see Seagull coming in for Oasis on his Pharah, but generally I think Taimu will be stepping in for most of the time.
Johnny, how do these playstyles compare? On the left, we got Dallas Fuel, who's been pretty slow from what I've seen going up against New York XL, and I feel like it's fast because we're always watching Sabiobi on Tracer.
Yes, exactly. But New York is a bit slow actually themselves, but it is interesting to see what both teams bring to the table, because we saw Dallas, of course, favored the Orisa before, which is very passive, awfully passive. But then their last matchup versus Philadelphia, where they looked so good, they favored Coco on the Winston, of course, and the Diva. So they stepped up the tempo a bit, hit up the back line with FX Tracer, of course. And then you have New York, who just adapts on the fly. So I think it's going to be interesting to see what New York does in this series, because they will necessarily don't come in prepared, because it's hard to prepare for Dallas Fuel. But they can adapt in-game with Libero. So it's going to be interesting to see, as the match goes on, to see what Libero favors in terms of his picks. Does he go for the Junkrat or the Genji? And to see how they change up the pace during the game itself.
Satcho, what individual battle are you looking forward to throughout this series?
So as Johnny set up, the 2 team styles are really going to be interesting to see how they clash. But each of these teams is kind of set up with 1 big star player on each. So I want to look at Sabiobi against Effect, particularly if they go on Tracer v Tracer, because that is where Sabiobi seems to shine. And when you look at these statistics across from each other, it's pretty interesting to note that Sabiobi has lower deaths, tends to play closer to his team, but his whole playstyle is about shutting down enemy DPS. That's why he has lower hero damage done, while still maintaining the same kind of final blows and higher eliminations, in fact, is because he's going for these slightly weaker targets. And Saebyeolbe has outkilled the combined pair of opposing DPS players against Boston and Seoul. That means he got more kills against the two of those than they got on him. A ridiculous performance. Effect has done this once, but it was against San Francisco rather than against the slightly higher caliber Boston and Seoul. So it's going to be a monster performance between them.
Yes, and I think Saebyeolbe is a bit favored because you look at these two players, and Effect isn't necessarily a Tracer versus Tracer player because he cares so much about the team, he wants to win, and he wants to carry so much. So I think he might be a bit distracted, and Saebyeolbe will have the upper hand this game.
Well, that's if Effect even plays Tracer. We saw him on the Doomfist all last week. Let's see what he's going to do in this matchup. It's time to send it backstage. We got Monty and Doa to kick this one off.
Thank you, Puckett. I'm excited about this matchup, man. I feel like we've seen a little bit better stuff from Dallas lately, but it's going to be tough going up against a team like New York Excelsior. And like the desk mentioned, man, if they want to reclaim that first place spot, they need to 4-0 today. So the map wins are actually really important for New York in this one.
And to be clear, getting that first place slot as we head into next weekend's stage playoffs means that you do get to skip until the last match of the day. Guarantees you a top 2 placement. So it is actually quite important.
Very vital, and we will start our maps for today on Nimbani. So, starting things off with the hybrid map.
I'm a bit interested to see how Dallas Fuel plays because they've been showing us a lot of different team compositions, a lot of different looks, of course. In their match earlier this week, we did see Effect play a lot of Doomfist, but interestingly, they've been shying more away from the Tracer, and we've been seeing Taimu return to Widowmaker, McCree, the hit scan roles, and we've been seeing Effect go towards, surprisingly, Genji, Junkrat, Doomfist constantly, right? And so if I'm Fuel and I'm coming into this one, when I know that Saebyeolbe is so strong in the Tracer versus Tracer 1v1, maybe you just don't play Tracer at all. Maybe you actually swap over, have Taimu on that McCree, and then continue running this style where you move Effect over to some more of these projectile or weird heroes that he can play. And a lot of people forget that when Doomfist was released, when he was very strong, when Envy was playing in Contenders, Effect was a monster on the Doomfist. So it's something that we know he's done effectively in the past, and I'm glad we're going to potentially see a little bit of it again.
You know, speaking of things we've seen that have worked in the past, Taimu's Junkrat has from time to time been a pretty strong pick for him, and I'm not saying that's what he's going to stick with going into this one, but it's something that maybe we want to keep in mind as Dallas goes forward, because I feel like the rest of this stage for them is about experimentation, right?
I agree.
You're not really going to get any great results in this stage. It's kind of over as far as your match results are going to be. So why not take this time to really try a bunch of strategies against some of the best teams out there in this stage situation? I think, despite the poor performance for these guys in stage 1, they've actually got a really cool opportunity, and I think we're going to get a lot of interesting games out of that.
And actually, we are going to see something interesting right away. It will be Mickey, who has been improving his Roadhog performance, to be sure. Effect on the McCree and Taimu on the Junkrat. So they have swapped the McCree and Junkrat players that we saw earlier this week. It will be a slow push with the barrier from underneath.
Yeah, I actually think Mickey's Roadhog has been fantastic lately, despite not getting those map wins. On an individual level, he's been looking good.
Oh, that's a beautiful biotic.
Yeah, Jonak was really ready for them and denying all that healing.
That rotation from Jonak was gorgeous. So usually you see Ana played on the far side of the point, but when they realize the composition, they know they're going underneath, and because of the placement of the Orisa barrier, he manages to rotate all the way around the opposite side, get the grenade onto multiple members of the Dallas Fuel, no more healing possible, and an easy cleanup in the corridor.
Oh, immediate swap from Dallas Fuel, too. They completely changed their composition. Taimu on the Soldier now, Effect on the Tracer, going for a little bit more of a dive here. They're going to try it right away. Coco gets in the back line, drops that shield a little bit low. Where are the heals, man? They need to keep Coco up. He jumps out just in the nick of time. Effect, meanwhile, camping on the point here, trying to draw New York back in. He does get the kill onto Janice, though, so there's a decent start for Dallas. If Art can't get to his Winston, we'll see. Self-destruct coming in. Can Dallas escape it here? Taimu gets caught by that one as Meko remix.
Yeah, they do have a resurrection available, so Taimu is going to be coming back up.
Yep.
Now some great focus fire in the front line. Coco is anti-healed right now by the Ana, but he's going to come back.
Well, he's done a good job of zoning people back away from the point here and getting back to his healers just in time. Effect gets a pulse bomb. No kills out of that one, though. Now Tranquility coming in from Dallas. Harryhook trying to keep everybody up. Libero getting a bit low. Effect searching for that kill. Can he get there before the heals come in? No, it doesn't look like that. Janus back in action again. It's been a long, protracted fight on the point here, but Dallas has at least taken the first tick, but after losing their healers there, I think New York should be able to hold.
Arc with the later Valkyrie coming up big. Libero going to launch Mickey off the map to end that fight.
Probably didn't need much motivation to go that direction as Dallas was resetting there.
Yeah, absolutely. And a couple of support ults used by the Dallas Fuel, and same with New York Excelsior. So they're going to be coming back. Taimu will have an opportunity here to get a good tack visor off without a lot of healing coming in from Arc's Valkyrie. We'll see if he can get that opportunity. They are coming up the gut right now through the main street once again.
All right, couple anti-heals coming through from Jonak's biotic grenade again. As Dallas jumps onto the point here, Libero pushed back just a bit. And there's Taimu trying to run away from Janus here. He doesn't want to go down before he uses his attack visor, but he does. Libero raining death from above without needing to use that barrage. And he will pretty much pick up all the kills New York needs.
Taimu really didn't have an opportunity to use the tactical visor. He was hit by the biotic grenade at the start of that fight and chunked very low. And by the time he gets into position, there's a damage boosted Pharah dealing a ton of damage to him, as you can see right here. He's going to finish that off. The good zoning. Chips will be the next to fall as well on that Mercy.
That is rough. So Dallas, only one tick taken so far. They're going to go ahead and launch a self-destruct in there. Libero caught by it. Mickey gets one. They need to capitalize, though. Down to just 35 seconds remaining. Janus falls to Effect's Pulse Bomb. This might be what Dallas needs to finally get the payload going. That's another tick taken. Nano boost on Nemeko right now as he tries to equalize here in this fight. Chasing down Effect, he gets him. But Mickey's on the point. Now, the Winston joining the fray here. Excel with a couple kills, and they get chips, and that might be the end of it for Dallas here. I think that was their best opportunity, and they weren't able to complete it.
Taimu's never been able to get an angle for this tactical visor.
No.
And part of that is that they've just been coming up through the main street. He hasn't had a high ground advantage at all so far over the point. Can they even get there?
I don't know. They get overtime ticking just in time. Coco on the point. Effect there as well, but not a lot of healing for them. They need to get the healers back. Harryhook res by chips. Can they actually grind this one out?
I don't think so, Don. Just the tanks on the point now with Effect. Harryhook
chips again.
Has been zoned out on the flank. Libero still there, going to get the D-suit onto Mickey.
That's it. And just between Jonak's bio grenades and what Libero was able to do on the Pharah, that was some excellent space control from NYXL. And like you mentioned, Dallas just never really found any opportunities.
Taimu never had a chance, really, to get involved in those fights on the Soldier 76. It was a combination of the tank line and also Libero zoning him out. Even when he ran to the high ground on that last attack and tried to use his tack visor, there was a Winston bubble over him immediately and a barrage on the top doorway coming in from Libero. So Libero completely controlling the long-range DPS from the Dallas Fuel. And that's what you get when you have a team that is intimately aware of the enemy team's ults and trying to shut them down. Taimu held on to that tack visor and never had a chance really to use it.
Wow, really smooth execution from New York. And I think one of the things we need to talk about with this team too is how they bounced back after that loss to Philly. I mean, that was kind of the low point of the stage for them. But since then, I think that things have noticeably tightened up in their play, and we're seeing, you know, more of that right now.
Yeah, and for those Dallas Fuel fans too, shouldn't despair. Numani has been one of Dallas's worst maps so far this season. Anubis, unfortunately, isn't much better for them coming up next. But in the second half, I'm really looking forward to Oasis, because both of these teams have unusual Pharah-less Oasis strategies that we've seen. So we might be in for a treat in terms of team compositions. But for now,
like a lot of Roadhog hooks bouncing off Orisa shields.
Yeah, I think you're right, Della.
We're gonna see a lot of that. But gotta complete Nimbani first. Not the toughest task in the world for New York Excelsior. They need to get, I believe, about 2/3 of the control meter here. Yeah, 67.1% to win the map. So Dallas Fuel on the defense certainly has their work cut out for them.
Now, standard poke composition here from the Dallas Fuel. See if Taimu is better able to control the high ground. New York Excelsior will be going Genji Tracer Dive. So looking to get up into the back high ground as quickly as they can.
Yep. Just kind of taking it easy here. biding a little bit of time here. Methodical push from New York. Helping Art get a little bit more charge on the Valkyrie.
Art is getting charged
immediately.
way up.
Whoa! Both supports down for Dallas. Disaster already as New York charges in. I'd like to see that dive from the upper perspective to see what happened exactly there. It just looked like they got overrun nearly immediately.
At Doa, that was actually a really interesting bait by New York. It looked like they were just poking to charge their Valkyrie, but Libero had snuck around the backside and struck.
Yeah.
When Dallas did not expect it. It looked like a poke war going on, but Libero, the sneaky ninja, comes around the flank and takes out the supports.
Well, short and sweet for New York Excelsior. That's one map in the bag already. They're going to come out with a lead in this series. And we only have to look forward now to our assault map to see if Dallas can get some sort of momentum going here. Guys, don't go anywhere. Map number 2 coming up right after this.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by T-Mobile, America's best unlimited network. Omen by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League. And by Intel, the official computer processor of the Overwatch League.
Taimu Yuangoski, Finland.
Taimu, fantastic, versatile player.
My real name's Timo. My cousin added 2 letters to it and became Taimu. Started playing with that name. Taimu, by the way, means body hair in Japanese.
Nice hook from Taimu. Another kill. Yeah, that was about as old west as it gets. There's a new sheriff in town.
We got our first good PC when I was 8 years old. Back then, you would get billed every single minute you had the internet on, so that was like $2K in dollars just playing video games online. Our father was not very happy.
Taimu bringing the thunder already. There we go.
I think my DPS style is very chaotic. I don't know what I'm doing, so the enemy team doesn't know what I'm doing either.
Such great aim, great hook accuracy. He'll be looking to have a big impact.
I really know how people play. The next time I play against them, I'm really confident I know what they're gonna do.
He is the X factor for this team, I think.
I'm motivated to get better at the game as the season goes on. Hope I can show you guys the new improved time.
Well, Taimu back in action recently after taking a little bit of a break. We didn't see him for a while in the lineup, and now they seem like they're including him a little bit more often. And it's always fun to see this guy play. He's been a good DPS for a very long time.
That's right. He's a very streaky player, though, and I think that's the interesting thing about Taimu is that when he is hot and you see his extremely good hit scan play, he's dominant over maybe a month or two period of time, but he is really up and down. So it's been interesting, but he did look good back on the hit scan in their last match earlier this week. The McCree was in particular impressive, even though they didn't come out with a win.
It seems like in the end, despite the fact that he does kind of have these slumps, when he does hit the next high, it's higher than the previous high. So it's overall kind of an upward trajectory, I suppose. There is going to be one sub, Mono, coming in for Janus, so a swapping of the tanks for New York Excelsior.
Yeah, we've seen some interesting strats as we move into Anubis, particularly, again, earlier this week from the Dallas Fuel.
Yeah.
When they were in their time bank push, they did run effect on the Doomfist, and what that did was we saw some interesting Doomfist tech where he was able to get onto the high ground from on top of the Jackal outside of the main gateway.
That was so awesome.
I'm really intrigued to see if we go into time bank, are they going to run that again? Otherwise, it was Widowmaker Tracer on their first attack when the time was a little bit less desperate.
Hey, I am all for seeing more Doomfist. That guy is easily one of my favorite heroes to watch in Overwatch.
Yeah, I mean, I love watching him as well. I think it can be effective, but certainly New York is going to be ready for that this time. And New York plays a little bit of a different style of Anubis defense than we see from other teams. Most notably, they like to run Meko on the Roadhog on defense, whereas most teams will run with the Orisa, Widowmaker, and Junkrat combination, the Diva, so that you have more mobility across the high ground of point.
Yeah.
Instead, though, we do see the Roadhog, and it looks like it will be that again from the New York Excel. Certainly, Meko is an expert on that hero, but it does mean that once they get knocked to the low ground, it's even harder for them to get back up.
Going back to the Doomfist a little bit too, I mean, looking ahead into the meta we might see in stage 2 when the Mercy nerfs come in, when the Junkrat nerf comes in, a lot of people are saying, hey, maybe we'll see a lot of tanks. Well, you know, it can be good at breaking up a lot of tanks, Doomfist. So.
Yeah, and he does have a lot to mobility too. I think he's still going to be a niche pick, but I think there's more value to Doomfist in the professional scene than we're currently perhaps experiencing.
I agree.
Well,
not an easy hero to play well.
ZPLB had a perfect 11-0 kill-to-death ratio on Numbani. It's nice not to die. It was a quick map, all things considered. And New York also does set up here on the front defense because of the Roadhog. A lot of teams, you'll see the May boost onto the back high ground for the Orisa, but that's not their style. They play a little bit more pick-oriented and forward, so the hook can reach those front gates.
That's right. Here we go. Dallas on the attack. Chips takes a lot of damage right off the bat. Zabe will be landing a shot there.
Yeah, the issue with the Tracer Junkrat is Effect is going to have to back cap to move them off. He's already working around the flank, so everybody going to be waiting on the side of the Fuel until Effect starts to put pressure on that point.
Yeah, Zabe will be already backing off a little bit, watching for that flank.
Yeah, he's
the dive.
He's looking to see if they're going to come through. Effect already on the point, though, so Fuel.
Oh, Coco down already, though. Jonak finds him. They got to respond, but so far so good. And yeah, they've already pushed Dallas back, it looks like.
This is one of those times where I think Tracer Junkrat will be a little bit better on the attack here than the Widowmaker. It's going to be hard for Taimu to find angles. And Jonak, that is a damage-boosted Zenyatta shot, and no Zenyatta gets more damage boosted in the Overwatch League than Jonak. His synergy with Arc is pretty exemplary.
Well, I mean,
again, right here.
There's a good reason. I mean, he's worth damage boosting. He hits those shots like, well, there's some more right there. I mean, it's easy when you're fighting through the choke, but he hits a lot that most Zenyatta's would miss. Like, he's got that projectile speed, how to lead targets down to his science.
Yeah, he does. He's looking for, he knows effects over there.
Yep, that's right. Gonna be ready for the Tracer, he hopes. Effect poking, here comes a Riptire, Libero coming in. Meko did demech Mickey in the meantime. Jonak gets stuck though. Effect managed to find him. The res will come through. And meanwhile, Mickey taken down and brought back up again by Chips.
That's just looking good for the Dallas Fuel, at least
they've got
preliminarily. But Taimu's been chunked out. He has to go get some health, so he's not actually shooting right now. Finally getting back into the mix.
Yeah, that's right. Meanwhile, Effect back on the point, or trying to anyway. Mickey gonna camp out for the moment down there. They've got the first stick to start things off, but Dallas overall push back. Coco says no, he's gonna dive in. Jumps on top of Mano, who got stuck with the pulse bomb Effect. Oh, hooked, and he couldn't be kept alive by Chips. Meanwhile, Meko's just gonna go ahead and use that whole hog to push Dallas fully off of the point here. Gets the demech onto Mickey. Chips, that's a good start. Nice right click onto Chips to finish this one off.
Chips died right before Harry Hook could come in with the Transcendence to save him, and that might be the difference right there as Meko's gonna take out both of these supports.
Well, another hook on the Harry Hook, and Meko's gonna find himself with 2 support kills in that defensive hold for New York. Sabielby did drop near the end of that, but overall, not too bad. They did give up about half the point.
Meko was so clutch in that had he not taken out Chips when he did, the Transcendence was going to be activated, and that would have been Chips healed up, and the closer spawns would have certainly helped out the Fuel.
Oh, Coco down already. Supercharger in action for New York Excelsior. Oh, and Mickey not able to get back into the mech in time. Chips brings him back. We'll see if he can keep going, but nope, there's a Riptire. Mickey will be perpetually mechless.
Wow, that Riptire prevented Mickey from getting back into that mech once again. That staying power of the tanks on the point delayed. It's only Libero and Jonak left now, so.
I mean, Dallas grinding it out. A lot was used on Mickey, actually, and that kind of left the rest of Dallas to run rampant.
Now, Del, we're heading into point B as Dallas will take it. 4.5 minutes. The last time they tried to play attack on B, Effect is going to switch immediately over to the Reaper. I was annoyed at how long Taimu stayed on Widowmaker on point B in their last attack. I would have rather have seen Taimu on the Reaper and Effect on the Tracer, but we'll see if Taimu can get the big picks here to push through.
Dallas doesn't want to risk the annoyance of Monte Cristo. We're all worried about that. Well, Taimu trying to find some shots early on. Libero does go down. Effect gets that kill, and that's going to be the go button. Dallas moving in. Taimu with the vision advantage here. We'll see if they can capitalize on it. Sabielby falls. Okay, there's a start. Janice has to leap out, or rather Mano has to leap out after taking some damage. Taimu really needs to find that kill on the Arc, though. Gonna settle for a D-Mech. Meanwhile, onto Meko. And that's Dallas getting a good amount of control percent, nearly up to 2 ticks.
Yeah, that's actually decent for them on a first push, especially because they didn't use any of their...
Whoa!
Well, Libero.
That's a reflex.
To take out Taimu from the distance. And I think with the lack of use of the Valkyrie, so they know that New York is not going to have the Valkyrie now. Arc was forced to use that to revive his teammates on that push. And so now there's another opportunity for Dallas Fuel to quickly end here on point B.
That's right. In fact, just building up that Death Blossom right now. The big body of Mano. And his shield. Not getting much charge off of that, though. Sneaking around this side. Meko low. He needs to go back to spawn to get a bit of healing. And now maybe he can take down Libero. That would be big. There's the reflect, though. Has to turn around. Oh, he finds Sabielby, and he's got the Death Blossom. After this Transcendence end, they might have an opportunity here. Taimu does go down. Chip brings him back up again, and now Effect trying to find the kill in the Jonak. Coco gonna finish that one off. And there's another one on the Libero. So Dallas charging forward. They may have this point here. They gotta handle the respawns now.
Orc is gonna die to the Death Blossom.
Hey man, that's worth it. 1 ult for 1 mercy kill here at the end. I think that's exactly what Dallas needed, and they may be able to end it right here, right now. No, Libero comes in. Oh, he pulls the Dragon Blade, but Coco gets the kill, and Dallas will complete their attack round. 2:11 on the clock. That wasn't bad at all.
It wasn't bad, Doa, especially after struggling on that point A attack, but Dallas will finish the second point quickly.
Yeah.
And that time the Widow and Reaper combination works. They got the foothold, but most importantly, they played the ult economy game very well. Forcing the earlier Valk out of Arc was the big difference maker right there. Allowed them to get in on the point, take out those supports early, and then clean everything up with effect on the Reaper. So it did take a while to switch to the Reaper on the last point, but you could see New York, they knew that was coming. That's why they switched to Genji Tracer Dive away from the Roadhog. Still wasn't enough though.
Well, let's listen in to Dallas at the end of that last point, taking point A.
Watch out tire. Wall hack top, wall hack top, fine. Sorry, Mickey. Send Discord effect, send Discord in Ali. Discord P.
Where is that?
Discord side again, Discord side again.
Pick it then. Winning.
Ali, side, Ali, side.
Play together. Junk red. Junk point.
Nice.
Oh, there you go. It was a bit of a struggle, but they turned point A into momentum that they used to take point B pretty quickly. So 2:11 on the clock for Dallas. NYXL on the attack now. We'll see if Dallas can keep up the good results on the defense.
We Taimu back on the Junkrat here, and effect on the Widowmaker. They had been swapping off in their earlier match this week, but looks like we're back to the expected roles for these two players, and they look like they're going to be playing a forward defense too, in spite of the fact that Mickey is on the Diva instead of the Roadhog. So they might be expecting a Roadhog here if they see them posted so far forward with the Orisa shield.
Could be. We'll find out. NYXL going to be diving in here soon. And effect. See if you can find those shots. Waiting for it.
Yeah, Harry Hook's staying very far back right now. Taimu trying to control this little room on the left-hand side. Sabielby is in there, but he can't actually get out. Finally manages to nearly die as he gets to the high ground on the point.
Yep. They should be able to lock space down pretty well with that. The dive comes in from New York. Now effect swinging around the outside. Ooh, he's got them from behind maybe. Gets found out. Jonak forces him off that high ground. Now he's got to deal with Sabielby on that Tracer. Oh, he can't get away though. Libero right there with the dash to finish him. Taimu though, meanwhile, covering that room with grenades. So it's tough for NYXL to push through.
Especially with Meko debacked and Jonak dead. Arc is going to revive him. Sabielby wants to get into the back lines.
Yeah, that'll do it. Dallas holding for the moment.
Now, Sabielby assassinated Harry Hook though as the members of the Fuel push forward. So there's the Resurrect down now. 4 chips high in. Taimu gonna head back. They're still hunting Sabielby. He still is over here on this side of the map where Taimu's looking.
They know he's around there somewhere. But he's down. A little bit lower than they expected here. Coming in, he's got that pulse bomb. Oh, Coco low, Coco out. Chips gets dashed as well, so no more mercy. And now NYXL, that was just a bit too much for Dallas to handle.
The New York Excelsior are so tricky, Doa, because it looks like Sabielby's wrapping around to try and backcap the point, but instead when his teammates get there, he collapses back down onto the front tank line instead. So all of a sudden the target selection is there, and Dallas Fuel is too far back to really help out their front line because they're trying to zone him off the point. So it's a different tactic, changing it up, and they are tricky.
Yep. Well, Dallas with some ultimates to work with, but NYXL has quite a bit coming into point B here. Taimu trying to break momentum with that rip tire. Doesn't seem to really get anything out of that. Meko demech though, okay, that's something.
Yeah, you're feeling
that will
really
slow
good
down a lot,
about that.
actually. Yeah.
Need to work up to some ultimates here. New York is in a dangerous position.
Spoke too soon. Sometimes it takes a while for that mech to show up.
It's going to take quite a while. Demeching on Anubis is particularly brutal with no way to easily reset.
Yeah. I mean, at that point, if you're Meko, you might as well just kind of charge down the middle of the ramp and make them kill you. All right. NYXL, 5 ultimates to use. Harry Hook and effect both down. Big opportunity. Here comes Chips, though, with that Valkyrie. We'll see if he can keep the rest of Dallas up here. Libero waiting for a chance to use that Dragon Blade. They're approaching it pretty methodically here. Slowly pushing the Mad Harry in a lot of trouble. He's going to pop the Transcendence as he hears the Dragon Blade get used here. Chip slashed away at, but staying alive. That Transcendence coming up really big for Dallas. They need to keep it up, though. Libero not able to get kills with that ultimate, but maybe gets more. No, gets taken down. Mickey finds him with the charge. They did lose Harry Hook. And now Dallas pushed a little bit back into that back room, but overall it looks like New York may need to retreat for a moment.
Yeah,
oh, well, maybe not.
Taimu has the EMP now, so if they're gonna get Chips, actually, Chips is gonna res effect.
He does, well, can he stay alive? Oh, he gets the DMAC actually. Harry Hook helping out, trying to keep his Mercy alive, and somehow, some way, Chips manages to stay up.
That attack from the New York Excelsior, they thought they had it in the bag because they forced the Valkyrie so early, but the Transcendence onto the Dragon Blade eliminated a lot of the opportunities they were going to have, and Taimu now on the Sombra, providing the EMP on the point, preventing them from being able to really roll that fight or cap it. And we're seeing a lot of the Dallas Fuel return to some classic Anubis strats from a couple of months ago.
Yeah.
Reaper on attack, Sombra on defense.
Coco, how in the world did he die all the way out there?
He didn't use his Primal Rage.
Yeah, that was a bit of
That's a mistake
there. You need to use that ult if you're going to go that far out.
That could be potentially disastrous here. Taimu's going to get another EMP. He's going to hack 4 in the back lines that may save them.
He's waiting. He's being very patient with this pulse bomb. Maybe because Libero's got that Dragon Blade out. Yep, that's going to be a problem for Dallas. Uh-oh. Full support's going down. And now the respawn's coming in. We'll see if New York can hold. Mickey going to be able to delay a little bit, deny some control percent building. He's not going to be able to get back in his mech, though. Libero finds another one.
Yeah, it's just an injured Coco on the point right now. He is chunked out by that pulse bomb.
Oh, there's a res comes in. Chips has a Valkyrie.
He's dead. Jonak sniped him.
Wow, he picked him right out of the air with the ult fire. That's crazy. Dallas trying to hold. I don't know, though. Transcendence comes in now from Jonak. NYXL looking pretty strong on the point at the moment. Mickey low, Mickey DMEC. Yeah, they just can't seem to get a cohesive defense going really here.
They're trying to hack them as fast as they can, but it's just not enough. Taimu nearing another EMP. This could be the saving moment for them.
Maybe. It's been a long fight, but there's the EMP. Now, can they get the kills here? Echo really, really low. Jonak on the outside of the fight, trying to find the picks. Ooh, gets a lot of damage in and up onto Coco for him to go down. Mickey charges, finds that kill though, and Libero, yet another Dragon Blade will be used to take out Chips Iron. And Dallas pushed back yet again. Libero gets hacked, but NYXL getting the kills.
That was a good job of Dallas to stall, but they're still going, actually.
This is crazy. This is an insane stall from Dallas.
They're gonna hold.
Finally goes down.
They're gonna hold. Sabiel will be the last one. Mono jumps out of the fight.
Wow.
So Dallas with an excellent stall. Taimu comes up with another big EMP. Onto the point. He's starting to move forward and hack these health packs again.
I don't know the last time I saw Libero get 2 Dragon Blades in a fight and still have his team lose. That does not happen very often.
Certainly doesn't.
No.
Mecca with a self-destruct up now. Arc, he's going to have the Valkyrie though, so will Chips.
Oh, looks like they're going to push him back. Dallas getting aggressive here. Mecco trying to find someone with the self-destruct. Coco goes ahead and pops that Primal Rage now. It gets the kill to Libero. Arc forced to use the res early to bring him back up again. That's actually the Valkyrie used. So NYXL wants to try to push with this. I don't know if they're going to be able to, though. That's a Mercy ult that's not going to work out. If Mecco nearly demeched yet again. Dallas falls back, holds the point. Mecco gets the heals. There's the Transcendence from Jonak. They need to move forward at some point.
EMP's going to come through. There it is.
Yep.
4 hacked again.
Yeah, Chips, though, gets stuck. The kills come in from New York, though. If they can survive the rest of this EMP, and it looks like they can, they've got a chance to finish this one off. They only need the last tick. Libero looking for targets. Oh, there we go. Gets effect with the Dragon Blade.
But how long can they stall? Taimu back on the point right now, hiding behind with Sombra.
Oh, there's the May coming in. Chips going to the May to try to delay as long as they can. They've nearly got it. That is almost there for NYXL, but Dallas just won't let them have
They're
it.
buying so much time again. Effect is still alive. Mickey is still mech'd. Harry Hook's going to be the next one to try and stagger this out. Chips his respawn. Can he get there in time? He's on the... No.
That's it.
No, he won't.
Whoa, well, that was still a great hold for Dallas. NYXL gets it in the end, but I think Dallas looking a little bit stronger so far here on Anubis.
Yeah, they are, and they're going to have 244 to just a single minute.
Yeah.
For the New York Excelsior. So Dallas really making a match of it on a map that they haven't even won yet. Dallas is 0-3 on Anubis.
You're right, though, where I think the difference is that they're going back to some of those classic envious strats. They're really playing in this match, in this map specifically, what they've been traditionally very, very good at. And you can see, despite all the crazy experimentation that's gone on this stage, there is still stuff that Dallas can do very, very well.
Yeah, and the way they're playing around the Sombra is interesting, too, because when the Sombra does not have EMP, so Coco messed up, didn't use his Primal Rage, and died in front of the temple on point B, but had he been able to use that, they basically are waiting for New York to engage, and then the tank will get hacked when they don't have EMP, and they focus down the tank. Meanwhile, Coco uses Primal Rage and jumps back to the team, right?
Right.
So that's a good strategy, and when they do have EMP, that's when they invite the entire team onto the point to get the 3-4-man EMPs that Taimu's been getting. So they're varying things up nicely here. Even though the execution wasn't quite perfect, I think had it been perfect, then we wouldn't have seen New York Excelsior take that point at all.
Right.
Because those first 2 ticks that they got off of Coco's death, I think, were a big difference maker.
Well, Dallas on defense one more time here.
Will be dive comp.
Yeah, only a minute for NYXL as they go into their time bank.
Be really cautious here, and we'll see if Sabiolbi does the same bait where it looks like he's going for the point and then collapses back onto the tanks.
Yeah. Oh, Sabiolbi!
That's...
Yep, the trap was sprung. Taimu finding that pick, and that's bad actually for NYXL. It's really bad because now they've got half their time remaining, and they gotta wait for Sabiolbi to come back. He's gonna swap to the Widowmaker. They're just gonna try to rely on pure picks.
Yeah, they have to now. There's no time to get into position with that Tracer.
Trying to create space for this Widowmaker. We'll see if they can do it. Effect dies early. Jonak with a crucial kill right when NYXL needs it. Effect needs to be brought back up again. Oh, Jonak goes down. Taimu finding a crucial pick right when Dallas needs it now. Oh, the chips and Harry Sabiolbi coming alive, man. And that's going to be NYXL with a great chance to take A.
That was so decisive again. Jonak, damage boosted by Arc, comes up with the necessary pick to get the opening. He kicks in the door on point A, and they'll get another 30 seconds on their attack.
Wow, well, that was a great switch from Sabiolbi going over that Widowmaker. It was pretty much beyond clutch. He needed to get those picks, and he found him.
See the damage boost on Jonak again here. They're trying to recreate that magic. They're being patient. Sabiolbi had to switch to the Tracer now, so he's not going to be close to that Pulse Bomb, but Taimu's going to fall to Mekko.
Yeah, man advantage for NYXL. And Mekko trying to stay alive, but he gets the mech, though. That's a problem. Gonna go after Harry Hook. Harry Hook taking down Mekko.
Both supports are dead.
That's right. And NYXL may have just done it here in OT. Somehow, some way, they managed to take 2. Wow. A colossal collapse from Dallas. And a great attack route from NYXL. What can you say?
So decisive.
No
from
kidding.
New York. You look at that. Taimu was positioned pretty far forward there, which meant that when he died to Mekko, when Mekko rushed him on the Diva, he was not in a position where he could get resurrected. So that one pick really spiraled out of control, where New York was able to worm their way into the back lines and kill both supports immediately afterwards. And Taimu was positioned that far forward because he was so close to a Riptire. If he had got just a little bit more damage, that's when his ult would have come up. But this has been an exciting game of Anubis. Both teams playing pretty well.
Yeah, but now Dallas, that last round has to hurt. But you got to ignore it. You got to think to yourself, we have more time on the clock. We have more than double the time that NYXL has. We can equalize and force it to a second time bank round. After round A, we'll see what they can do. If they can get point A a little bit quicker this time, I think Dallas will be in a pretty good place to tie this one up.
Yeah, I think so. We'll have to see. Dallas was very decisive on point B, so if they can get that fast point A push and switch to that Reaper again, they may be in a good place.
That's where all the time was eaten up the first time, is this first point. They're gonna go for a bit of dive with Taimu on the Widowmaker again. And NYXL looking for picks. Libero on that Junkrat this time.
Yep, same strategy that we've seen before, and it will be the Tracer Widowmaker again for the Dallas Fuel. So seeing more of the same. Mickey going to be charging the Valk. So they've decided they're going to go for a slow push with a faster Valk charge. You can see Chip's already up to 40%.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing you got to be aware of. If you're a Widowmaker now, if you're a DPS, if you see that tank standing out there, maybe actually don't shoot at them, because that Mercy's just trying to get the ultimate fast.
Oh, he got demeched. Oh,
that's rough.
That's incredibly rough. That's what you can't have happen. You have to keep You have to keep the Diva in the mech, and Sabiulbe's gonna get 2! What a flick onto Taimu!
So Sabiulbe didn't like how that first round went. He's just decided that from now on he will just be killing everybody on Widowmaker.
Okay, but they're still ahead in the
Valkyrie Coco
game.
gets hooked!
It's fine though. He's able to get back, and that's gonna be Chips again, going up towards 100%. Arc only at 40. New York is gonna know that this is coming.
Mickey D-Mech
Oh
again.
no!
Man, Dallas just feeding their tanks into NYXL. Either Coco nearly getting picked off, Mickey getting D-Mech'd. This is not going well. Another great combo!
Echo is absolutely stuffing this Dallas Fuel attack right now. By D-Meching Mickey and getting the hooks onto Coco, it has stalled them out. They want to use this Valkyrie.
Oh,
Get
Harry!
Coco, please!
Somewhere Scorpion from Mortal Kombat is like, that guy's pretty good. I like this guy. He's like, get over here.
Yeah, he's getting everybody over there now, and he is punishing this placement of the Dallas Fuel. And now we're sitting at a minute remaining.
Yeah, Dallas gonna be scrambling here. They gotta get it.
They have to go.
Yeah, that's right. Gotta dive. Harry Hook going down. I said dive, not die. Chips brings him back again. Oh, but the pulse bomb on the Sabiulbe, maybe an opportunity here for Dallas. Libero falling back. There's a Riptire though. Coco. Oh, he caught Coco with it. And Mickey D-Mech'd as well. A huge Riptire from Libero exactly when they needed it. Coco res though. Chips pop that Valkyrie. So they're gonna try to keep going. They need to. 30 seconds left here on the time bank.
They're in a crossfire though, and they can't get onto the point. Sabiulbe's nearly respawned. He's coming around the backside as we can see.
Yep. Oh, he got caught by Taimu though on that Widowmaker. Kills coming in from Dallas. Now they've got the Valkyrie for Arc. Oh, but Harry Hook picks him out of the air. Who says Jonak is the only one who can do that on day?
Oh, that's a big kill, Doa, especially as we head into B, because they're going to cap this.
That might, yeah, that's it. That's point A. Dallas has an opportunity here. They need to get in there. Coco nearly at that primal rage. They've got a few ultimates to use. NYXL will have the Transcendence, but that is it.
But killing Arc gave them a window, Doa.
Yep.
Not having that Valkyrie there is huge as Dallas Fuel attacks. Both teams are going to have Transcendence. Effect is going to stay on the Tracer. Taimu needs to come up big with a pick.
Yep. Sneaking around the outside. He doesn't really want to fight that Diva too much. Goes up to the high ground now, looking for shots on that Widowmaker. Effect sneaking in the back. He's got the pulse bomb ready to go. Just needs to get a good stick. Mano falls. That's a good start. Oh, did he get the stick?
He stuck it.
He did. Arc. He got stuck. Dallas with a chance here. Oh, the kills are coming in now. Goodbye supports. NYXL may have just been overrun. Libero managed to get Harry Hook, but that is it so far. The control percent building, but here come the respawns from New York. Transcendence keeping Dallas up for now, and they've still got the tank ults to go. Trying to 2 ticks.
They're trying to deal with Sabiulbe. Harry Hook has already used his Transcendence. Transcendence now coming in from Jonak.
That's a kill for New York. They really needed that. Self-destruct coming in. Meko's gonna lose his mech because of it. Libero back on point. Coco trying to find a kill on Arc, maybe. Libero coming in though. Harry Hook may be in a little bit of trouble. Coco there to protect him. He can't do it though, and Jonak gets that one. Now the May again comes in for NYXL. They need it on defense this time. Chips gets a res, and they are so close.
They're at 99% right now.
They need to take this one. We're into OT. They gotta push NYXL off the point for just a little bit longer, and maybe they can do it. Libero, no, he's back on the point. Dragonblade doesn't matter. They will tie it up, and we are going to time bank again.
What an exciting series.
No kidding.
This is what is so frustrating about the Dallas Fuel. They have one win, and yet they can play against some of the best teams in this league so close. Excelsior, the Seoul Dynasty, and you can really see their veteran status when they get into these scenarios and how good they are at dragging out some of these maps. And this is very exciting. We're going to head into 1 minute of time bank each.
Yeah. All right. Pretty much sudden death now for both of these teams here on Anubis. And, you know, Dallas, they've been experimenting so much this season. We've said it before. I mean, I think they recognize that they needed to evolve as a team to have longer lasting success in Overwatch League, and what comes along with that is some losses as you sort of put things together. But every once in a while they remind us that they still can do some things pretty well.
And we're certainly seeing that here.
That's right. So a real chance for Dallas to take this map. I suppose an exactly equal chance for New York to take this map too.
Effect actually just went back and switched to the Soldier 76. So
Interesting.
Won't be playing the Widowmaker this time. This is a result of the fact that they're assuming the dive comp is coming in and they want the extra healing station on the ground here, and they're going to be at the mid-range in the forward defensive position where Soldier's fall-off damage won't be falling off very much.
Probably wise.
I like this adaptation.
Yeah. Libero on the Genji now. Sabi will be not using the Widowmaker. He's on the Tracer again. Here comes the dive. Mano falls early. Dallas was ready. Chip's taking a little bit of damage, but Sabi will be not finding the kill now.
They're all on the high ground. Sabi will be dashing around the side, so he's hiding.
Yep.
He's the only one who survives. The Soldier has been effective.
Less than 30 seconds left now. It was only a minute for NYXL. And yeah, you can see Sableby at the top right of your screen, lurking behind the point.
And he get Harry. Harry's actually in a very dangerous position where he can be 1v1 by Sabielby right now.
He is. He doesn't know he's back there. Dallas trying to defend as New York comes in. Sabielby touches a point just to pull Dallas back a little bit. Ooh, Chip needs to be careful here. Effect falls. Libero gets him. And Sabi will be looking for the kill on the time move, but the heals are there. Mickey forcing him back. Sabi with 4 HP before the recall. Gets it. Where's that pulse bomb? Oh, NYXL
He's
coming
shut down,
in.
and that's going to be it. New York is going to take this point eventually. They have Arc, Mono, and Libero still there. Effect is dashing back in. Can he be the hero?
Now he's going to have to be a pretty major hero in that case. Mickey already used his self-destruct, so he's just going to get DMAC and taken down. But there's some time left. They need to go for it. Oh, Effect just diving onto the point. And now you have to wait. You have to acknowledge. NYXL has taken point A. Can we defend point B here? It's going to be 30 seconds back on the clock for NYXL.
New York did a great job of collapsing right now. Both of our teams are going to have Valks up. Taimu over onto the Sombra, trying to poke forward, hack some of these health packs, make sure he can get that EMP and shut New York down.
Yeah.
New York and Sabielby, they want that pulse bomb. They want the big opener to this fight that's going to power them through to the end.
Oh, Harry Hook, there it is. Ooh, did he get the stick? No, not quite. Chip's got away. Sabi will be going for a big play, not coming up with anything. They are going to start to build a little bit of control percent though. Sabi will be down to 6 HP, has to back off. Coco trying to chase. Got to get back to the point to save people though.
Effect with the tactical visor, but he's getting bounced around by a primal
rage.
rage.
Harry Hook killed in spawn. Sabi will be coming up clutch. There's the Transcendence now coming from Jonak as NYXL on the point. Coco a little bit low. He's going to dive after Sabielby. Tries to get to that health pack. Can't quite do it. Again, Sabielby getting the kills that NYXL needs. Mickey DMAC taken out. There's an EMP, but there's nobody to capitalize on it. Instead, Libero is just going to cut Dallas to shreds. And this could be the beginning of another point take for NYXL. Harry Hook just transcending on the point by himself, and that's it. New York, 6 points on Anubis.
Harry Hook died before he could get out of spawn, Doa, as you said, and he was on the opposite side of the point as Chip's high-end with the Valkyrie.
Yep.
So they couldn't get a lot of resurrection value there. New York Excelsior takes advantage of that instantaneously and cleans up the point. What a great attack run from the Excelsior.
No kidding. And now we've seen Dallas deal with this kind of frustration before. They had more time in their last attack round, but they did take a very decisive point B. So I wouldn't count these guys out of it just yet. And I mean, we've seen Dallas have crazy, insane map scores in their matches before too.
You can see Taimu right there. He's thinking about what to select. The problem is now that they can't run that same strategy. They don't have the time to have their tanks get poked and worked up to a faster Valkyrie. They have to be decisive.
Yeah.
And what does that mean? Is Taimu going back on the Widowmaker? Looks like Junkrat. They're assuming the same defense from New York, but it's not going to be there. It will not be Orisa and Junkrat. It's going to be Dive. Well, that's a slow push. Dallas going to have one push here with the Orisa Junkrat. They cannot make a mistake.
That is bold. They're going for it though. NYXL with the dive on the defense. And this is it. Dallas needs to push and not stop pushing until they've taken 2 more points here on Temple of Anubis. Let's see if they can do it. Mickey coming out to take a look at what New York has.
So they know it's dive now.
Yep, they should.
So they have to set this up really well and make sure that they stay behind that Orisa shield.
Taimu from the top and the back here. He's going to take the high ground. Wow, very agile on that Junkrat actually.
Coco switching over to the Winston. Okay, so they're already making some adjustments here as Taimu gets into position around the side. He's going to miss that mine.
Yeah, well, Taimu absolutely can't die here.
Nobody can die. They're taking so much time, only 25 seconds left.
Well, looking for New York on the high ground. Taimu under a little bit of pressure, backs away. Uh-oh, Meko right there with the Diva. Taimu low, Taimu down. Sabielby finishes that kill in a hurry, and there goes Harry Hook. And that will be it for Dallas. No coming back from this one as New York finds them before they get onto the point.
And New York just capitalized on a positional error. Taimu was separated from the rest of his team.
Yep.
Sabielby and Mono jumped on him, drove a wedge between the formation of the Dallas Fuel, cut down Taimu and cut down the rest of the Fuel.
Well, it was a close one, but when you're in that situation where each team has a minute left, both teams are really playing on that razor's edge and can go one of both ways. And for New York, certainly went their way. They are up 2-0 in this series.
Exciting match, though.
Yeah.
May have been one-sided when we came out on Numbani, but Anubis was a thriller.
Well, Dallas certainly showing some life in the second map. We'll have to see if they can keep a little bit of that momentum going here. On Control as we come back. Don't go anywhere, guys. Halftime coming up after this.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by T-Mobile, America's best unlimited network. Omened by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League. And by Intel, the official computer processor of the Overwatch League. Welcome back. Are you guys tired yet? Because that map just wore me out. Dallas Fuel finally falling at the very end of it as New York takes a 2-0 lead in our first half. A much better match, though, than a lot of people online predicted. And here to break down the games, we've got Reinforced and Sideshow once again. And Sideshow, I want to start back on Numbani. We know it was Dallas who was on the attack, but over and over again, they seem to be getting stuffed. Let's open things up here with Libero on the defense.
Yeah, they start off with this Orisa Hog composition that they really like to run. The idea is they get into this corridor and set up their position really quickly. But Libero was there, Jonak, as Monty pointed out, with a biotic nade, and then they went back to a more default composition. So Dallas Fuel, they recognize the Pharah's in the air, so they moved Taimu onto the Soldier 76. But they were just pushing kind of up the middle every time. Normally when you see teams and they're trying to take on a Pharah, they take control of the high ground, they're trying to put pressure, kill pressure on them, and then go into the push. And it didn't really work out for Dallas there.
Who was impressing you on the defense there for New York? Because they held for a full 4 minutes.
Yeah, actually, it was kind of the rotations that they were making that were the most impressive. Perhaps then that comes down to the tanks and supports mostly, because Sebiobi and Libero are just kind of hanging around waiting for the call to engage. But the ways that, first of all, Jonak rotated to hit that nice biotic nade, and then they were rotating their tanks around to not get baited into the anti-dive kind of setup of Dallas Fuel. So they did have a good setup, but it was mostly, I think, Dallas kind of running their heads against a brick wall.
It was nice to see Jonak on the Ana as well instead of his Zenyatta, which we always see from a very proficient on that. In fact, if you were watching, he got one of the first picks in the opening fight. So New York, they hold for a full 4 minutes. Johnny, walk me through one of these defensive holds, how they get it done on the telestrator.
Well, we're actually going to see more of Jonak with his bionic grenade, and it just shuts down Dallas' attack. So as we go into this telestrator segment, we're actually going to see Dallas here preparing with the Winston this time to set up an attack. And key, once again, then of course, Jonak is going to come in clutch with this bionic grenade in just a second. You can see him at the bottom of your screen. So as he tosses this is the key moment, because at this time, Dallas Fuel wants to play around Taimu, but because they want to apply pressure to the point and force New York, Coco and Mickey and Taimu wants to go to the point. So Coco and Mickey can protect Taimu. But this bionic grenade really messes everything up. So instead, Taimu is forced back, and he can't really go with either Coco or Mickey. So as we play this clip out, we're going to see that Coco rotates, Mickey rotates, and now Dallas Fuel are split because Taimu couldn't make the rotation. So they're essentially set up in these two very large boxes. And ideally, you would want Mickey to rotate back with the defense matrix and Coco to leap back and protect Taimu further. But because they've used their cooldowns, the rocket boosters, of course, on the Diva and the leap on the Winston, we're going to see that New York just exploits this fact that they split them up, and they're going to take out Harry Hook from Sabiolbi, and then Libero is going to approach further with Janus and shut down Taimu. So once again, I think it's fantastic use of this bionic grenade throughout this fight, and they really shut down Dallas Fuel attack. I would have liked to see Coco perhaps be a bit more defensively oriented. We know Coco is a fantastic Winston, defensively oriented, likes to peel for his supports and DPS players, but we haven't really seen it yet, and it went on even in Anubis.
Full cohesion isn't quite there yet from the team. Thank you so much for the lesson. Give it up for Johnny. Great breakdown there for game number 1. You got 3 claps. There they are.
Thank you.
More than Sideshow last week. Let's keep it rolling as we get into game number 2. And this is Temple of Anubis. Now, before we roll the highlights of the game, we want to show you kind of one of the key moments, because if you remember, both teams had an initial attack, and at the end of their initial attacks, Dallas had more time in the time bank. Despite New York winning, it was Dallas who had the edge early on. How did they give themselves that advantage?
Yeah, they set themselves up for a decent win condition just by Taimu moving over onto the Sombra. So we've got some highlights here of the big ultimates that Dallas were able to use on their supports. And so with Taimu flexing onto this Sombra, normally it's a little bit difficult to generate your EMP as quickly because the healing has to go into Chips and Harry Hook to build up their ults, but he's banking on the fact that Chips and Harry Hook will be able to delay the fight enough for Taimu's EMP to be able to come in and clean up at the end. That makes it more difficult for New York XL, because New York XL's normal playstyle is to trade support ults, disengage, build them up more quickly for Ark and Jonak and push back in with that advantage. But because they've got 3 now to deal with on the opposing side, 3 big game-winning ultimates, they can't so much disengage and just build up their own because they're concerned that either the Valkyrie or the EMP is going to be available. And just that rotation of the ultimates allowed Dallas to hold on for a long time.
Yes, and also it's so hard to actually set up your fight properly when you're facing a Sombra because that EMP is always a big danger, of course. So New York Excel, they don't really have the time to set up their dives correctly with Libero and Sabiolbi, and Dallas Fuel are really pushing up the tempo and bringing the fight to New York, something that we saw Philadelphia Fusion do when they actually upset New York 3-2, of course. So I like what Dallas Fuel is doing here.
Speaking of the tempo, it was fast and furious on point B, but we're going to start things off here with Jonak on the support. You can see him getting those early picks on Zenyatta. Eventually, Dallas, they get the pulse bomb, they get through the healer's effect, leading the charge. Mickey, solid job on the Diva push as well here, playing a nice job of shutting down the flankers, rather, on the defensive end. But what do you think of this Orisa strat? Is this something you'd like to see in the future from Dallas Fuel? Because point A seemed to be a problem as this game played out.
Well, once again, I think because they set up so aggressively on the platform closest to the spawn of the two, I think that they really pushed up the tempo versus New York once again, and they didn't allow New York necessarily to set up their dives. Usually you see Libero on the Genji perhaps flank around, and you see a Widowmaker completely on the opposite side, trying to flank around the Orisa shield, but because Dallas Fuel are holding so close, New York doesn't necessarily get that amount of space to actually set up their dives. So once again, it's about pushing up the tempo, but in a different manner, using positioning rather than perhaps a Sombra EMP.
Sideshow, why did Dallas get rolled for the second and third push coming in from New York? In your opinion, what was their biggest weakness?
It was really a tale of two halves, right? Because on the time back, New York Excel are able to push that one so quickly. They get the pick, it was Jonak, I think, sniped out effect really early on, and then they're able just to snowball it forwards because Sabiolbi's got room on the Widowmaker, he's able to hit a load of heads. They snowball that in because Ark and Jonak have been able to generate their support ultimates, and it looks like good night for Dallas, but they're able to pull it out themselves. And I think here is where NYXL is pure hubris coming out from them, because Ark commits his Valkyrie to a point A defense when all they have to do is stop them from fully completing point B. Everybody knows Anubis, point B is the one that you want to defend. And if that is your win condition, just to hold point B, you should not be throwing your Mercy ultimate into point A. So I think Ark got a little bit ahead of himself. The team thought that they would be able to clutch it out. They could see the win right before them, but that gave Effect and all the rest of the guys on the Dallas Fuel all the space they needed. You give them an inch, this team does have like championship caliber. They have been world beaters in the past. If you allow them entry into a game, they are going to take it. So you have to lock them out.
Will we see that entry in the second half?
It's a little more difficult coming into the second half, I think. Perhaps, maybe when we move on to the escort map towards the end, I think it's going to be really difficult for them to get back in.
Johnny, tell me about some of the early candidates for the player of the match. For me, I mean, Meko had an insane game number 2. He started off with the Hog. You saw him on Diva completing the push, getting that first pick on Taimu.
That was just
Effect
disgusting.
was going off. Who are you going with
There
so
were
far?
a few players. I mean, that was just disgusting with the Orisa and Hog combo. The crowd was just like, come on, guys, you know, step it up, you know, don't get picked up so much. But actually, I love Sabiolbi getting the picks on the Widowmaker. So I gotta pick Sabiolbi.
You know,
I'm sorry.
You know, Johnny, he actually got 13 picks on Harry Hook throughout that game as well. That was absolutely nasty.
Poor Harry.
The guy is gunning for him, so watch out for that in the next 2 games.
Let us know on Twitter using the hashtag OWL2018. Who do you think so far is the player of the match? Dallas Fuel versus New York XL continues with the second half in just a few. Oasis will be a big game 3. The Overwatch League is brought to you by Sour Patch Kids. Sour, sweet, gone.
Mickey coming in for the kill. That was just really well done.
It's a huge kill that New York. Jonak finishes him off. Let's go, New York. Gets the kill onto Unko. Huge play from Meko.
It looks like Dallas may be able to take this map right here, right now. Oh, meanwhile, it was all part of the plan.
Welcome back, guys, to the Overwatch League. Dallas is going to need the reverse sweep to take this match, but it's not going to be easy. That last one was close, though, so maybe on Oasis. I'm going to see a little bit more out of these guys.
I think the problem with Oasis is that this is a map the New York Excelsior are currently undefeated on. They are 4-0, although when we talk about 4-0, it's a little bit deceiving because they haven't been flawless in terms of points.
It's
and there
Pine.
he is, Big Boss Pine.
Pine.
Will be in on Oasis.
I'm here.
Now, he didn't come in on Oasis when they played against the Seoul Dynasty, and when we talk about them not being flawless, they've been pretty bad on University, actually. They dropped it to the Shanghai Dragons. They dropped it multiple times now.
Sure.
So that may be an opportunity, especially for the Dallas Fuel, who can run heavy tank compositions, especially with Effect, who's a fantastic Zarya player, for them to really make a statement here, because with Libero and Pine, you know they're going to run McCree Junkrat on University. So it is a transparent strategy, and we'll see if the Dallas Fuel can potentially exploit it.
Yeah, another thing to reiterate, too, is that if you don't think New York was sweating a little bit in that last map, they absolutely are, because, again, in order to achieve first place and hold that again in the league, they need to 4-0 this match. So even going 3-1 with a win against Dallas here actually wouldn't be too much of a victory for New York.
Yeah, it would make their life harder next week for sure if they want to reclaim that #1 seed.
You'd be feeling a lot better with that 4-0. So we'll see what Dallas has on Oasis. Going to start things out on Gardens, it looks like.
And this has been an interesting map for both of these teams, especially Fuel, who haven't fielded a top-tier Pharah player. So that means that a lot of the time we're seeing Orisa and McCree on Gardens with no aerial attack whatsoever. But by that same token, New York has played this very defensively in the past with this style of composition. Roadhog, Orisa, and then we may actually see Pine on the Junkrat. That would certainly be a mix-up. And we've also seen New York run the D.Va Roadhog combination. What this does is it puts a lot of damage on the front line. So what they want to do is blow up a tank instantly.
That's right, Arc over on the Mercy, the last second to join up with Libero, of course. And it's all about the picks for New York Excelsior.
And Mickey and Coco are going to have to really try to stay alive against this, because with the burst damage from the Roadhog and the D.Va combined with the Junkrat and the Pharah, it can be a tank's worst nightmare. And Mickey's already demeched.
Oh yeah, that's a problem already for Dallas. And you know, New York knows too that they're not going to probably have to face Safara in this case, so they can kind of account for that with their composition. Mano being forced back, a little bit low, but getting the heals in turn, and New York going to be able to get the control percent building quick.
And they got everything they wanted. They got the front line right away with the burst damage, playing the angles, playing passively until the necessary poke came through, and now they are the first ones to capture here. And Pine will be sitting on the high ground, playing that Junkrat. Definitely not a hero Pine typically plays.
Yeah, but a hero that's great at controlling the zones if your opponents aren't playing anything that goes up in the air, and gets a kill against Taimu. That's a nice pick.
Always nice to get a little bit of a damage boost spam there.
Yeah, and apparently in a place where Chips either doesn't want to res or isn't able to res him up. They might just want to wait, save that one.
Yeah, New York pushing forward to deny any possible opportunity.
Well, the ult economy for New York looks a lot better than Dallas right now, too, as they've been pretty much just poking them, getting picks here and there, and haven't been taking a lot in return.
You wonder what this McCree is going to do as well. If he ever tries to stand in place or get an ultimate off, there is a hook or a defense matrix with his name on it.
Yeah. Whoa, Effect finds Pine in the back lines. He's going to go deep, and that's going to be Dallas trying to capitalize on it. The res comes in anyway, though. Arc not having to use Valk yet. Oh, and they get Mano as well. Taimu finally finding a kill. Libero up on high, not really feeling a lot of pressure on this Pharah, but somehow Dallas do manage to muscle New York off long enough to flip it.
Yeah, they bully them off the point because it's just the supports and Pine who are left over. Meko was attempting to re-mech.
That was
so
bizarre.
They have to back off. So Dallas, Effect opens things up with a pulse bomb kill, forces them off the point. so that they can get the resurrection clustered in the hallway.
I think the crucial thing here is that New York still has both their support ultimates, and they can try to find a way to push in with those.
Yeah, Chips using that Valkyrie early.
Yep. Now Coco on the point right now. New York just moving in a little bit.
Zoning Deadeye from Taimu means that New York has to run for cover.
Yeah. Now it's time, though, I think. Time to go in. Jonak loading up the alt fire. Ooh, he's got to get his tanks back up again. Mano falls. Taimu capitalizing on Jonak not being within line of sight. Meanwhile, Meko demeched. So that's both tanks out of the way initially here. Mano was brought back up again, but he's getting low again. Maybe they can get another kill. Effect getting close to that pulse bomb. He's going to use it. There's an easy stick and an easy kill onto the Roadhog here.
But guess who's back up?
I know. Hey, guess what? Valkyrie is still pretty good. And so New York turns that one around after some early picks from Dallas. And they may be able to reclaim this one. I think they will.
After those hero swaps, New York changing their tactics. They want to use the poke of Libero on the Soldier, and Pine going back to the Tracer that we saw him play in their last match against the Shanghai Dragons. They're already up to full ult charge. Jonak, once again, staggering the enemy team.
And he is so good at hitting those long range right clicks with Zenyatta. Pine, meanwhile, watching for flankers around the back here. A little bit of graffiti while he's at it. Come on, Pine. Somebody has to wipe that off later. Damn it.
No, but he just moves it around, right? The other one instantly gets cleaned.
Graffiti transfer. Whoa, Effect transfer to the underworld. Pine finds an early kill there, and we're into OT. NYX trying to hold this one right now. Meko gets demeked a little bit. No, he gets taken down. Taimu charging forward on that McCree. A couple picks already. Maybe Dallas can flip this one again. Pine really, though, needs to be careful. Effect finishes him off. Jonak down as well. There goes Arc, and it looks like Dallas will be able to flip this one. I think we might be going towards a 99-99 situation here.
Seems that way, Doa. Taimu, the critical kill by punishing the self-destruct out of Meko. And so they won't have to deal with that ultimate any longer, but they had to use their Valkyrie. Harry Hook also low in Transcendence charge. New York is going to be roaring back with 2 support ults to retake this. This is going to be a tough effort from Dallas Fuel. They want to take this, but it starts there.
Seriously, both supports
both
down.
Supports.
That's a DPS ult comboing right there from Dallas. They're like, you do your thing, Effect will do his. Taimu gets another kill on Namato, and suddenly Dallas with 99%. All they need to do is clear Meko rather off the point. That may be it. Dallas takes point A here on Oasis.
That was clutch.
No kidding.
So clutch. You got the 2 kills you needed from the Pulse Bomb and the Deadeye simultaneously, and that shuts down New York.
Man, and after the way Anubis ended too, there's a lot of DPS out there that would just tilt off the face of the earth. So credit to Taimu and Effect for coming back and finding those picks in the very last moment. We're going to go to City Center now.
You almost never see that too.
No.
Wow.
That was just perfect symmetry between DPS finding those ults. But I got to say, maybe a bit of an error for Jonak to come in right at the end of that Deadeye. Open up the shot for Taimu. That's a rough one. But another round, another opportunity for New York to tie things up here on Oasis.
New York will be happy they're not going to be playing on University yet.
Yep.
We'll have a chance to get back into this game. Taimu once again onto the McCree. Pine will be matching him on that same hero.
Oh, in Effect apparently has stuck all of his pulse bombs. That's a nice stat to have. Only 4, but that's still pretty good. Trying to do a bit more damage. Another pulse bomb to stick. So, Mano taking some on that Orisa. And Taimu taking down Jonak. Another pick coming in, and it looks like New York, unless Oreses come up big for Dallas, might be able to get the percentage going early here. Effect says no.
I don't know.
I think Dallas
tanks.
has a chance
There's
here.
no tanks alive for New York, and Effect will stick another one straight onto Jonak.
Whoa.
The Omnic is down. Effect is still trying to punish. Has to be careful. Doesn't want to get flashbanged.
Oh, and that's what happens. Yep, Pine saved it. Pine, the most deadly McCree in Overwatch, I think you could say right now.
He's still undefeated. He has not lost a map yet, but I think this is looking grim for New York.
Yeah, it's looking a little bit rough here. Dallas with 20-something% already. Harry Hook flanking from the side. New York with some ultimates to use, though. They're getting more. Watch out, Harry Hook. Those cars have been dangerous lately. Oh, but Pine a little bit more dangerous. The Transcendence comes out.
Oh, he's
right into
trapped.
the trap. He can't get to his team to heal them. Finally gets there at the very end, but can't quite get any healing done. Here comes Arezzo from Chips. An opportunity for redemption for Harry Hook. And Taimu taken out by Libero during the Deadeye. New York striking back here. They might be able to grind this one out.
Yeah, I think they can, Doa. They're being forced back. Both teams use the Valkyrie, but an optimistic Deadeye from the flank, sniffed out by Libero, and he is bombed into the next world. And
right.
now he is going to be heading back towards that respawn, staying on the McCree. New York in firm control of the point.
Oh no, they'd hunted down Effect, and that's a big staggered spawn for Dallas to have to deal with now. Uh-oh, Chips. Oh, man. Scumbag Mickey flying out of the way as the hook comes in, so it hits the Mercy, but that's a tough one.
There's a couple times here, Doa, where Meko has absolutely saved New York's skin. We saw it on Anubis, and there's another delay so that they don't have to use ultimates as they try and tie up the control percent.
Here comes Riptire. Libero under fire with that Riptire. And, oh, Coco trying to run away. He barely survives. But can he get the heals in time? It looks like, no, he can't. Jonak finishes him off. That is really big.
The damage boosted Zenyatta again. Going to force the resurrection from Chips High-End. They're now down at ability, and New York is still sitting on a pile of ults.
Yep. Self-destruct comes in right now. Mano gets taken down by Coco, so Dallas with the man advantage for the moment here.
Coco died to the cars!
Whoa, that happens. That whole hog from Meko pushes Coco into traffic. Meanwhile, Pine, damage boosted, takes down Taimu. Chips falls as well, and New York winning that fight resoundingly.
They did have to commit a lot of ultimates to that, but Meko punished the dive by whole hogging Dallas Fuel into traffic.
Oh, man. I've never seen the cars get so many kills before Overwatch League began.
It's been a good time. As
Shadow buff.
Play with that positioning.
Yeah.
That's a smart position to have when you have the whole hog up. They're going to fade back there now.
That's a lot of shots on the Coco. A lot of damage. Taimu trying to go toe-to-toe with Pine. On that McCree. Mickey demeched already. Libero takes him out with the trap afterwards. And Pine's still searching on the side for those shots. They have to fall back to the point for the moment. That's a Transcendence for Harry.
Tire is looking for Chips.
Yeah, that's a rough one. Oh, Chips does get caught by the Riptire. Oh no, and there goes Harry Hook. New York, I think, may have this point here. It's looking pretty good, and yeah, New York will tie things up here on City Center.
Chips just couldn't get his Valk up. Mickey got hooked in and then trapped after getting desuited, and Chips was still, he was close to that Valkyrie, but couldn't walk up for the danger of the slower resurrection, and didn't get it in time for the instant res in the Valkyrie, so that was an easy win there. But now we are going to University, a map that has been problematic for the New York Excelsior. This point is a great chance for Dallas Fuel to start a comeback.
Yeah, with the way they've been playing, the compositions they've been used, this is the round that they are kind of putting all their money on, you think?
I'm surprised they're not going with the Zarya here.
Yeah, effect on the McCree instead. Taimu back on the Junkrat.
I think I would have played D.Va, put Taimu on the Hog, and then played the Zarya here.
Well, here we go. Onto the point. Right off the bat, the hook comes in. He grabs Taimu. Pine with an early one, capitalizing on that hook. Meko does fall, though. So effect with a bit of revenge. Both teams missing some people. As a point unlocks in just a few seconds here. Playing it safe now.
Yeah, but the tanks are on the point.
Oh, effect finds Libero, though.
Jonak.
I can't believe.
Jonak.
Oh, he gets effect, too. This guy, Zenyatta, is just insane.
Jonak and Meko have been the hero playmakers for New York today. There's a 3K for you. Why not?
Why not? Yeah.
Every time it's looking bad for New York, it's,
take out Coco too, sure.
It's a Zenyatta right click or a hook from Meko's Roadhog that brings them right back into it.
Yep.
They are dragging New York across the finish line right now.
Man, somebody on New York is like, oh, I couldn't get that kill off. Pine coming in. And then Jonak's like, hold my Harmony Orb.
Another,
got this.
Another landed hook here for Meko. He's riding at a 62% hook accuracy. in Oasis.
Oh, nice combo there, actually.
Great
All
combo.
pulling Pine into range for effect to get him with the Deadeye. That was sick. Dallas is going to need a lot more than that, though.
And they're not going to be able to resurrect either because he died so far forward. Pine reviving. Mono dropped into the well in the center of the map.
Mickey pulled over, but he takes a breather and lives. Meanwhile, Taimu's sending in the Rip Tire. What can he find with it? Jonak with another kill onto Taimu, so the Tire from beyond the grave. Oh, can't claim any kills. Meanwhile, Meko brought back up, or brought low by Mickey, rather. Coco trying to stay strong on the point, but it's going to be tough. Here comes a whole hog. They get Meko anyway. So maybe an opportunity for Dallas here. There goes Mano. They're going to be able to flip it. Finally getting the control percent going.
And New York only at 55% too. And both teams with the Valkyries utilized, so there's a good chance for Dallas Fuel to stabilize on University. They're going to be pushing forward and fishing for the ball and chain halt hook combo.
Yep. Got an opportunity.
Playing further back though. They want to play on the point. I think that's a bit interesting. Well,
there we go.
There we go.
That's it. Mono taken out very cleanly. Man, the synergy. Coco and Mickey setting that one up. Beautiful. Hey,
there's a Rip Tire on the map right now.
Oh, look out. Oh, it finds the fact.
Barely.
Oh, that was so close. Coco lives, though, and that's pretty crucial. Chips can handle that one res, but two is a little bit tough. Oh, effect. Pretty bold Deadeye. He lives through it, though.
Actually, Meko gonna get hooked while he's distracted there.
Yeah, Mickey finding another one on that Roadhog. He's been really good on that hero lately. Trying to drop Coco into the hole, maybe. Takes a little bit of time to walk back up again.
Pine was flanking by himself. He was by himself on the side. That is a big punish.
Yeah, no kidding. And now the Rip Tire coming in to push New York back even farther. Time to find anybody. Not quite. Libero gets the kill in the end on the Rip Tire.
But it's just about to stall right now. Dallas Fuel staggering Pine. Pushing them back with the Rip Tire. Another halt is gonna find.
Oh, Meko! He's down. Effect got him, and now Mickey has that whole hog. He's got to live, though. Takes a breather.
Both tanks are underneath the point, though.
That's right. That's devastating, actually. They need to get back on there. Dallas has to pull back and allow New York some positioning here. Now Chips comes in. Transcendence nearly dropped in there. Pine finds two with the Deadeye. Crucial kills for New York as they move forward to try to flip this one again. They don't quite have it yet, but as Mickey falls through, that might be about it. Well, both people getting dropped through, both hogs.
Now, but Meko was ulting.
That'll be it for New York. Yeah, they'll flip the point back.
Wow. You have to admire New York, though, for starting that up by dropping both of the tanks from the Dallas Fuel underneath the point. That meant that their defensive hold was broken. It was followed up by Pine with the Deadeye now that the supports were not behind a barrier and had to contest the point.
Yeah.
So beautiful start there using that halt. Dallas Fuel going to be coming back, though. They've got the advantage. They have the Valkyrie.
Meko gets grabbed yet again. I think Taimu finishing that one off. Dallas has the ultimates to retake.
He was forward by himself. Dallas is in an awesome position.
Yeah, Arc. Oh, another combo. They hit it every single time. Grabbed by Mickey yet again. Dallas storming in with the whole hog from Mickey. Pine trying to flank, but we're into OT. They took it back so easily, but can they hold it through overtime? I think they can. I think they may have just won this map. Overtime ticking, and that will be it. Dallas will take Oasis.
And not only that, Doa, they end New York Excel's unbeaten run on Oasis. They end Pine's unbeaten run.
Wow.
Here in the Overwatch League.
And they also deny New York Excelsior the opportunity to take back first place in this league from London.
Fuel 0-3 on Oasis coming in. Excelsior 4-0 on Oasis coming in. And it's Fuel who take the map.
Yeah, really great map from Dallas Fuel. A lot of life left in those guys. After a tough loss on Anubis, they strike back. And maybe, just maybe, a win on this next map could send us to that overtime fifth map on Lijiang Tower. We'll find out. We'll be back after this.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Intel, the official computer processor of the Overwatch League. T-Mobile, America's best unlimited network. And by Omen by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League.
just saw a great comeback from the Dallas Fuel on Oasis. What a clutch game. Did you guys enjoy it? Well, I certainly hope so, and it might even get better. And you know what? Even if Dallas Fuel is not going to win against NYXL today, they did win against Pine because they caused him to lose his first ever map. Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's a feat in itself. But now, let's head over on map 4. Let's see if Dallas can tie up the series and bring us maybe to a map number 5. Doa and Monty, please take it away.
I think so. I think it's actually possible. I think Dallas could equalize here and send us to Lijiang Tower. But yeah, I mean, already handing Pine his first loss in Overwatch League is definitely an accomplishment for those guys, and everybody played great. Like the synergy, especially between Mickey and Coco, lining up the Orisa halts into the hooks from Roadhog. They just did it again and again.
Yeah, especially University, which continues to be a problem for the New York Excelsior despite their previously unbeaten record on Oasis. And we are going to be heading into Dorado, and it's a chance, in fact, for the Fuel to hand Pine his second loss because he's going to be staying in.
Wow, okay. New York sticking with Pine as we go towards Dorado here. And Dallas, a little bit of momentum built up in that last match. A win here would send us to Lijiang Tower.
And we saw Dorado this week already from the side of the Dallas Fuel. And what did they do, Doa? They ran Doomfist.
Yep.
They ran Doomfist on attack. They ran Doomfist on defense. It was a lot of Doomfist. I don't think they're going to do that again.
But we can hope.
We can always hope.
We can hope,
Doomfist,
but not expect. You know, temper your expectations in the Doomfist department.
And it seems like with Pine here, we'll probably head back to a Widowmaker point A defense on Dorado first up for the New York Excelsior. And that makes a lot of sense. The Widowmaker will be effective against the side of the Fuel because they're not going to be putting a lot of back pressure on there. Remember that if Genji's going to be played with Effect and Taimu in the roster, it is going to be Effect playing the Genji.
All right. Well, that was one of the reasons why Effect was brought to this team in the first place, was that his Genji play was also really good. We haven't seen that a lot from Effect over the months, you know, when he was on Envious and now in Overwatch League. But you never know. He's got the ability to pull it out. Going to start things off on Tracer, though, this time.
Yeah, I'm very curious what we're going to see from the Fuel. They did run Widow Genji defense, though, on their last point, and
that's a crazy stat about the New York players actually on this map. Some of the lowest death rates in the league for these guys. And so, quite the struggle for Dallas as they attack here. We'll see what they can do. Larkin coming around the side already as they send out Effect and Taimu.
All right, so pretty standard poke composition attack here with the Soldier and the Tracer. Meanwhile, the question is who is going to deal with Pine? Effect is going to have a hard time as they get into the market on point A, and Effect is on the far back high ground. They don't have a Pharah and they don't have a Genji, so who is going to handle the Widowmaker?
Well, Taimu takes his high ground early too. Ooh, a little bit of shots onto Jonak here. So they're at least going to push the payload through that choke, or get it to the choke anyway. Taimu trying to be very sneaky here on this Soldier. I almost said McCree. It's Taimu, it's a default.
It is.
No, it's going to be Soldier this time.
And they're playing it very slow. Notice Chips is already 45% ahead when it comes to the Valk charge. Conversely, Libero is the one who's been dealing the damage. So it's a race between the Riptire and the Valkyrie right now.
Yep.
They're waiting for the early Valk. That's going to be the trigger for the Dallas Fuel.
Well, they've nearly got it. Chips is going to have it in just a second here. And then will they be able to capitalize? That's the question here. Coco goes in anticipation of that Mercy ultimate. He goes down, but at least they've got instant reses. There we go. Can they catch Chips though? No, not quite. And they're going to push forward. Yeah, somebody's got to get on that payload. Taimu backs off. Harry Hook does go down though. Pine with the shots. You got to worry about that Widowmaker. Meko though zoned out, taking a lot of damage. Mano taken out by Effect's Pulse Bomb. And have they done enough here maybe to push it? If they can get rid of Meko, they may have just done that. But here comes a Riptire. Okay, that's a D-Mech onto Mickey. And so New York striking back a bit here. And yeah, looks like they will hold. So, now if you're Dallas, do you switch things up? Do you take Taimu off that Soldier?
See, the problem, though, with running these slow-burning attacks is that if they fail, and the New York Excelsior knew exactly how to make that fail. They knew that there was going to be no pressure on Widow. Everybody else falls back into a building, and there's no pressure. Basically, it's just the front line standing there, killing the tanks. They don't have a hook this time like they shut this down on Anubis, but they still have the right strategy. They know exactly what the Dallas Fuel are doing. And now Arc is going to be coming back with a Valkyrie of his own.
And pretty much. Coco really low again, has to dive out. Oh, brought back in by the halt. He's in trouble. Can't contribute anything until he gets those heals. There we go. And Pine contributing with a shot there. Rez comes in. Taimu taken out by Libero, though, so they've already lost a few people here. And New York going to go in. They've got the advantage in numbers, and just nobody has been able to touch Pine at all. And because of this, easy shots. Another kill on the Harry Hook. They got to do something about this Widowmaker.
The only thing they can do is try and take a Widow duel, unfortunately. I think that's the reality of this scenario. But it's been magnificently played in terms of positioning by New York. They know exactly what the strategy is from the Dallas Fuel.
Yeah.
And they've burned almost all of the time off the clock right now, and it's going to have to be an epic push here.
Oh, there we go.
There's a good start. Both DPS are down.
Yeah, found him with the pulse bomb. Now Meko has to use that self-destruct, but Dallas coming out ahead a little bit here. The Valks are going to change things, though, as people come back to life. Coco batting around the members of New York, tries to get onto Jonak in the back lines. Can he get the kill here? The heals are so big from Mercy. Coco can't finish him off, but he has zoned out the supports, and that's going to allow Dallas to push forward.
That was a bit cocky by New York. Doa Pine was pushed very far forward instead of the safe positioning he had up until that point. And they overextend, and look at that effect. How clutch has this guy been for the Dallas Fuel? He comes through again.
Now let's watch that one again. Gets the pulse bomb here.
Sees Pine bouncing off, gets the stick down, kills both the DPS, so both of the reses have to go immediately.
If you're Pine, I don't know why you'd ever drop off that high ground.
That was extremely cocky. They thought they were going to full hold, is the answer, and a big positional error after what was an exceptional defense that was already in progress. But Effect, he's so great at finding these openings. He's going to find another one. No.
Oh, did not stick the pulse bomb. Came close. Then he gets trapped, taken down by Jonak, and the payload's going to halt as New York jumps in. Taimu on the Widowmaker now. Now he wants the duel. See if he can handle it. Shots onto Meko.
Coco's here. He's going to be coming around the side, providing a little bit of cover for him. Wants to help deal with Libero.
I would not want to be in the hallway with a Junkrat.
Yeah, I think that's what they believe as well. So they're going to rotate around back towards the street.
All right, Riptire incoming. Taimu's looking for it. Oh, but he finds Pine instead. Maybe Widow can just throw her voice. Herself sound like Junkrat. There you go. It was Widowmaker all along. Riptire does eventually find Chipsian, and Dallas will have to back away.
It's a good flank, though. You know they're going to be distracted looking for that Riptire, so instead you make a peek on the backside of the payload and punish someone who may not be scoped in your direction.
Yep. All right, New York with a pretty strong high ground position right now.
Effect is in the back, as you can see. They know he's there now on the backside of the courthouse because he was firing. Pine wants to take this duel. He's going to force the rewind, actually, but he's going to die. Libero.
Oh, Libero interrupting the sacred duel between DPSs. Coco, meanwhile, coming in with that primal rage. Into the back, tries to go after Pine.
Pine's on the run. He's got Coco and Effect after him.
Yeah, out of the frying pan, into the fire, and I should say into the lightning gun as Coco finishes him off. Meko, D-Mech now. It's a fight going Dallas's way. And that Jonak pops a Transcendence, actually. They know they've got the resurrections from Arc, so I guess they're going to try to use it to keep people up. And it's working for now. Mickey did get taken down.
Jonak cornered in the courthouse. Yep. And that's a death sentence, unfortunately, for him.
They threw the book at him. They threw the giant mech at him, I guess. Effect taken down too, so New York on the verge of holding. 10 seconds left here for Dallas to get back on there, and they're without their Winston. Somebody needs to touch the payload here, but I don't know if Mickey can get there in time. Charging in, barely gets there. He
falls to Jonak.
Oh, that's OT. And yep, Taimu down. Jonak finds that headshot. And they're trying to keep Mickey on the payload here, but New York in a great spot to hold this one. Oh, that's self-destruct. He's got a Winston shield over it, but they're gonna need more. They're gonna need picks. And those picks are coming in for New York in a hurry. Pine gets both supports, and that will be it. So, Dallas only able to push that payload halfway through point B. That's a rough attack for them.
It is, and again at the end, it's Jonak. One more time with the pick. Taimu had come around the backside of the courthouse and was looking to snipe someone off, and while Jonak was coming in from spawn, he punished him because he was scoped in at a different angle.
Well, here's the end of that push, and Pine again finding both supports here.
I think this is the issue, though. You look at some of these maps with the longer sight line, and who's punishing Pine? This is where you get back into the Dallas Fuel's hero pool problems, because they just don't have the Genji, they don't have the dive to put pressure on, and it nearly resulted in a full hold on A, and in that last fight again, with everybody having to be on the payload, Pine could just stand there and take all the shots he wants.
And so Dallas pretty much has to bank on a full hold on point A here if they want to force it to the 5th map tiebreaker on Lijiang Tower. New York Excelsior in a great position to win this series.
I wonder if they're going to go for any Doomfist here on defense. They did use it on A defense previously. It looks like the answer is going to be no.
Not today. Effect on the McCree instead.
So back to a pick composition. Running with the hook from the Roadhog, as well as the flashbang and the trap. And that should be good against New York, because they are showing us the early indications of wanting to go with the dive.
I mean, you just go back to what worked on Oasis, right? I mean, Coco sets up the hooks and Mickey delivers.
Yeah, try for that full hold and try to play around that choke. Maybe you can get a pickup here at the start of things.
5, 4, 3.
We'll see if New York is going to change it. Change their composition at all.
They're going for it now. So the dive with Libero on that Genji.
Question is Libero going to switch to Pharah?
I'm moving the payload.
But we'll see.
My ultimate is charging.
Wouldn't be the worst thing, but you still do need to worry about the McCree a little bit.
Instead, Libero's going for a long flank, so he is wall jumping his way all the way around the backside now, and he will be in the rear of the market. He's going to find Taimu. Taimu's looking for him. He's like, where's that Genji?
Thought he was sneaky, but no. Taimu was there the entire time. Denied. All right. Now going from the front this time.
Mono and Pine are already on the far side of the market, so this is going to be a quick collapse. There they come.
Oh, Coco jumped on immediately. Jonak finds yet another pick. I cannot believe the amount of kills this Zenyatta gets. But Dallas does manage to push back, though. And now, Meko, or Mano rather, kind of on his own on the payload. Pine trying to help him out. Dallas Fuel pushed back into the building there. Oh, and that's a pretty good pulse bomb. Effect taken down. Thought it was maybe going to grab a support or two instead. Coco over on the Reinhardt this time.
And that late kill is crucial because Pine's still in the back right now. Taimu trying to zone him out, but because they have the later pick, the respawns are coming in faster for New York, so another chance for them.
I'm excited to see Coco on the Reinhardt. This is his main. You don't see it a lot, but this guy can get things done on it once in a while in this meta. Riptire coming in, though. Taimu, oh, he finds Pine. Okay, so there's one DPS out of the way. They got Mono as well. And so Dallas, for now, holding strong.
They stabilize off of that. Dangerous situation for them, but the barrier in the front helps them avoid a lot of that damage.
Yeah.
And the Riptire getting the kills. So for now, Dallas Fuel holding here. Pine is going to switch onto the Widowmaker. Libero will stay on the Genji for now. He's nearly got that Dragon Blade.
He just has to wait for that Reinhardt shield to go down for just a second, and he can maybe get a pick there. Ooh, taking a little bit of Junkrat damage. Comes over the top. No headshots there. Ooh, and now Effect going after him. So, New York trying to push forward here. Pine flank here on the side. They get Harry Hook. Jonak with another pick. Chips forced to use that res, uses the bounce right away.
Denies the Dragon Blade, though.
Yep, that's right. Libero does go down. Arc brings him back, but no more ultimate for the Genji. Pine taken out by Effect. A crucial kill again for the Tracer. Libero striking back on the New York side, though. Harry Hook falls once more, and Mickey kind of on his own. So it was a long hold from Dallas, but it may be ending now. Coco not really getting anything done, unfortunately, with that Reinhardt ultimate, and he's on his own.
Yeah, he did stun too, and he got the charge kill onto Jonak, but the New York players are still swarming the payload.
Yeah, you needed a lot more there. Coco falls. Taimu does get the kill on the Mono, but, and look at this. What a delay from Effect, actually. Finally taken out, but he's actually bought Dallas a little bit of time.
Taimu's the only one there, has to jump on the payload, stalling for as long as he can, but it's not going to be enough. Payload will end in point A. 3 minutes, 20 seconds now.
Yep.
As the New York Excelsior look to push this one through. Late self-destruct, actually,
yeah.
from Mecco. That was odd.
I thought, well, maybe he's going to go swap or something. I don't know why you'd swap off the Diva, but no, he just might have
that
figured that one. Yeah.
I think he did, actually.
Well, 3 minutes now for NYXL to push it just in front of the courthouse, so they don't have to take it that far. And now the Dragon Blade coming in from Libero.
Oh, again, Taimu!
Taimu ready once more with that concussion mine. That Dragon Blade from Libero has been stopped cold twice. And Dallas gonna just jump on New York and finish off everybody else.
Taimu has the read. He knows the Dragon Blade is coming after Chips, and he's there to protect him twice in a row.
Comes Pine, getting chased out by Coco now, though. Scott, a good angle on the top, but not really too close to that pulse bomb yet.
Here's the Pharah.
In the near future, and yeah, now Libero brings out the Pharah. The Genji wasn't working, and there's not a whole lot that Dallas can do against this Pharah with what they've got.
Gonna keep on poking away, trying to push them methodically off this high ground. They can't get too close.
That payload's nearly there.
Payload keeps moving. Libero gonna get hit by a Junkrat grenade.
A close call there. Oh,
there's
Taimu
another one.
Taimu just gets him with the left click. That was some great angles from Taimu, man. Oh, Jonak taken out as well. Dallas getting the kills. Still 2 minutes remaining for New York, though. And now the double kill from the self-destructed Mecco might be enough for New York to finish this one right here, right now. Pine putting the icing on the victory cake here for NYXL. I think that's going to be it.
It's just Coco with the Primal Rage, and he's not going to be enough. New York will win 3-1.
They'll take Dorado. They'll take the series. A hard-fought one from Dallas, but New York comes out with the win.
It's another one of those series, Doa, where Dallas looks at times so competitive against the league's best, but they can't climb the mountain that is the New York Excelsior.
Yeah, they certainly made it look close a few times here, and again, you know, handing Pine his first loss on anything, really.
On any map.
It's pretty big on anything, yeah. So Pine's first loss. New York doesn't manage to retake first place. So Dallas, you know, they may have lost, but they've drawn blood, right? They certainly made New York realize their presence.
Absolutely. Fortunately, you can still see all those flaws that we've seen this season. Glimpses, glimmers of greatness, but not a way to play the right team comps at the right times.
Yeah, well, I'm excited about this team in stage 2. I think the break's going to do them well. I think they've got a lot of good things started, but it's just not quite there yet. But as time goes on, you just can't look at this roster and not expect that they're going to be pretty big in the future. But right now it's all about New York. A big win for NYXL, 3-1 victory. And we'll take a quick break, guys. We'll be back with more of Watch League action after this.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by T-Mobile, America's best unlimited network. Omened by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League. And by Intel, the official computer processor of the Overwatch League. We're back live from Los Angeles. Welcome back to the Blizzard Arena, and we just saw a strong finish from the New York Excel. They complete the run against the Dallas Fuel 3-1 here as they improve to 7-1 overall on our league standings. Welcome back to our desk. We've got Reinforced and Sideshow. Sideshow is my favorite show. Let's jump right in here to Oasis because Dallas at half was down 0-2. They needed a win here to make this an interesting series, and they put on a show for us.
Effect went beast mode. This guy was so good. His pulse bombs were crazy. I think he took 4 out of 4 on this stage and then went on to have another insane performance actually on University. This guy has the power to take over a game if you give him an opportunity, and he played superbly. That's not to say that NYXL was sloppy either. This stage, Gardens, they run this like Diva, Roadhog kind of composition, put a lot of pressure on Mickey and Coco. So this was good execution all around by Dallas.
And Pine was in the lineup here, Johnny. That was the big storyline for me coming in. Pine had never dropped a map coming into this game 3. And somehow Dallas is able to get the victory with him in the lineup. What impact did he have?
Well, I think it's worth at least saying that I think Garden was the stage for New York to lose, so Dallas had to win it. And then City Center, I think, is Pine's perhaps favored stage because they are so good with the Orisa and Roadhog composition on City Center, especially when you're playing against Taimu, who only has a McCree or a Soldier in his hands, and you can't break the Orisa shield. So the map in itself was really set up to be a deciding round on University, of course, and I mean, they were just Orisa, Roadhog combos all around.
It was madness.
Yeah, me and Sideshow were just sitting here like, oh, people just flying into the hole and have to walk back up at the Roadhogs. So it came down to Dallas just getting the right picks, I think. Time on the Junkrat, and then we saw the Effect combo, of course, when Effect got the High Noon on top of the Orisa combo, the pull. Yes, the Graviton thing. So, so yes, overall, I think that Dallas Fuel just got the picks and played way better this composition. And it was a huge improvement because New York is actually one of the better teams when it comes to this. We talked about Meko and Mono, for example.
So, Sideshow, what did you see was the difference on that final stage of Game 3? Because it opened up with Jonak on Zenyatta killing everything. He picked a Mercy, he then picks Effect off of Tracer, and then he comes flanking and is doing more and more damage. How did Dallas Fuel stay in that game and bring it back?
So I think something that we've seen about Dallas Fuel as they've gone on is that this team is good at the Roadhog, Orisa compositions, setting themselves down and then asking the other team to push into them. The amount of times that Coco and Mickey were able to chain these hooks together to either drop people out of position, as we were saying, just dumping them in the pit of despair, or being able to actually get the picks was crazy. And it set them off. When you stack of kills like that, it's almost impossible for NYXL to be able to come back in. They have to have some crazy performance. I think it's also worth mentioning as well that Pine has only had these crazy performances on Ilios. And so coming into Oasis, they might have been better with Sabiobi here because they needed somebody to shut down Effect.
I'll be honest, I had a lot of fun watching Pine last time he was on Oasis as well. Finally, Pine falls, and Dallas is on the board. That sets up a game number 4. We go to Dorado, and we've seen some great attacks on Dorado. Not today. We had both teams kind of shut down a little bit slower than we're used to, and I want to start here with you, Sideshow. You were watching Dallas on their attack for point A, and they were running into some issues, but still showing off what we're known for, or what they're known for, their creativity.
Yes, they had a slower play style and came into it, and their first push was about getting up this Valkyrie for Chip's Iron before the enemy team did. And then then the idea is that Coco's going to dive super deep. It doesn't matter that he dies because he gets rezzed back up, and they're aiming to crack this back house, the one over there that you can see Chips looking towards. But Coco is both of these first deaths, and they're never able to penetrate into the house. Junkrat has so much peel, and by that we mean that if you try and get into the team, he can blow you away or he can blow you up. And so either way, you're not going to be able to actually crack into their defense. And so I would have liked to see them, obviously they don't run too much of the Genji, but having something like a Junkrat of their own to blast through the barrier, or having, even we saw Boston run the Hanzo there, and you get a scatter arrow inside the room. That can be a nice way of clearing it out, but both teams struggled with it.
That's actually a good point, because they had trouble dealing with Pine on the Widowmaker, and they don't really have an answer, so perhaps Taimu could have gone Hanzo. I'm just talking about Hanzo today. I love me some Hanzo. So that could have been an option, but overall, it was the struggle with Pine on this Widowmaker. The guy was fantastic throughout this map, and I think mainly, as Monte Cristo mentioned in the cast itself, Dallas Fuel don't really have any kind of Genji player in this lineup itself, so it's really hard for them to deal with it. They could have subbed in Seagull, but that's very specific. It's kind of risky, so it's not really the option you want to go for. So you have to rely on Taimu, perhaps out-rifling him with the Widowmaker, of course, but it didn't really go the way of Dallas Fuel this time.
Sideshow, at the start of this game, were you nervous at all for New York XL? Because they pulled Sabiobi out of the lineup and they lose game number 3. Now Sabiobi's out of the lineup for game 4. And Pine was able to get the job done. But coming into it, were you nervous?
Not particularly, because we have seen Pine play Dorado before, and we know that he's going to be on the Widowmaker most of the time. Now, when you're looking at Pine, the guy's got unbelievable individual skill. But the one thing that did make me slightly nervous is that Pine is a very confident player, sometimes overconfident player. The hubris that we mentioned on Anubis, where they were going and taking fights they shouldn't, was kind of exemplified by Pine dropping off the high ground and trying to get like close-range snipes onto effect. The guy does a lot of this kind of risky maneuvers. So that, in that sense, perhaps it could be something that gets cracked, but overall they looked solid.
Now I want to justify it a bit, because he popped the wall hack, of course, so you can see through the walls, and the reason he pushed forward was to actually surprise Dallas Fuel in their positioning and say, hello, I'm around the corner. But
hello, I'm in the spawn queue.
Yeah, pretty much. So he just needed to retreat a bit faster, and it would have been justified in my opinion.
Point to Sideshow there. All right, it's time to crown our player of the match, sponsored by Omen by HP. Who are we giving it to today, boys?
We are giving it to Meko. The guy has been fantastic. And it doesn't matter what hero he plays. Here, he's playing the D.Va, then he's over on the Roadhog. The guy was phenomenal all the way around. He had the most eliminations out of anybody on his team over the course of the match, was leading in elims and final blows. He knows how to balance the aggressive nature of off-tank with the defensive. He is all-round fantastic.
Well, I want to give some credit to Mano as well, because the reason Meko is so good on the Roadhog, of course, is because of the Orisa and Roadhog combo. So give me some love to Mano, the main tank of New York, who's really standing out thus far. But Meko, yes, he needs to be highlighted because of his D.Va play and his fantastic Roadhog play. We haven't really seen that much of the Zarya, so we can't really talk about how good of an off-tank he is compared to the other, like Sunba in the league, of course. But his D.Va and Roadhog thus far has been a treat to see.
And as a D.Va player, one of the big notes I had is a lot of players in the league, you'll notice more damage blocked than they dished out. Well, Meko, he was dealing out the damage pretty equally throughout this series. Fantastic performance by the off-tank player for the New York XL. New York is now in the top of our leaderboard, tied right there with London. Let's take a full look at the updated leaderboard. And in fact, London still has a game ahead of the New York XL. If New York had a 4-0 there, they would have claimed the first spot. But because they dropped the one map, that's just +2. They now find themselves one game back of the Spitfire.
And this sets up next week as well, because we're going to have London and New York actually play each other before the playoffs to dictate who is going to be the division champions and actually get a bye for the Stage 1 playoffs.
It's been a great day. That was a fantastic matchup, but coming up next, arguably the best game of the day, we are going to see the Boston Uprising, who's on a hot streak, going up against the Valiant, who's coming off a big 4-0. Don't go anywhere. More Overwatch League in just a few moments.